Watch those hands be the right size. Doors are closing. John, you're all clear.
All right, as they say in Arabic, one day. Which one? Or not. This is a test. We made one trip. All right, folks, we're nothing. New headphone mic. Yeah, I lost audio completely and retry this off reset. Alright folks, it seems like my audio might be cutting in and out a little bit while we're out on the reserve, but I'll do my best to see what we can get while we're out here. Hey Brad, it seems like it's working now. I'm sorry, seems like the audio is working out. I'll let you know what happens. Alright folks, we're going to head on in after this truck up ahead of us. Let them get a little bit farther into the reserve before we head on in. Anybody's first time out on the reserve? First timers, okay, welcome aboard, welcome back for everybody else who has done this before. While we're out here though, I just got to go over a couple things, make sure everybody does stay safe while we're out in safari. It's very important everybody does stay seated. There's no standing up, switching seats, holding the kids up in the air, anything like that. Or just make sure everybody does stay fully seated at all times in order for me to stop for any animals out on the reserve. I'm not going to be able to stop for every single one. There's just far too many of them. So make sure you have those cameras out and ready on a sport or action setting. Anything with a fast shutter. That way you get a good picture of all the animals we might see. Not just a handful I can stop for. Also, make sure that we keep all hands and arms and cameras inside the vehicle. If anything does fall off the truck, the wardens do not allow me to stop and pick it up, no matter how important that item is. Alright, looks like we got our clearance. So we're going to head on into the reserve. We're going to start our safari in the Little Ituri Forest, where the animals that inhabit the forest have very good camouflage. They blend in very well with their surroundings, so just keep your eyes peeled because you never know when they're going to be hiding. Over to our right, we're going to see a couple of animals. The smaller animal there is going to be the yellow-backed duiker, getting its name for the small yellow patch of hair on its back. The larger animal there is going to be the okapi, and the okapi should think of be a relative of the zebra, but they're actually the only known living relative of the giraffe, not the zebra, and they were discovered till around 1901. Now, watering holes, like the one over here on our left, are very good opportunities for us to spot a few more rare or endangered animals. We're mainly going to look for the black rhinoceros down here. But there is actually less than 5,000 of these beautiful creatures left in the world, so it's very rare when we get to see them. But if you look at the top of the hill there, you're going to see a black rhino grazing. They weigh about 3,000 pounds, but it looks like we got one closer up here. We're going to go ahead and stop up here to get a better picture of another black rhino. Their horns are actually made of the same material your nails and hair is made out of, so they will grow back eventually. That really doesn't matter to the poachers. Over on our right-hand side, there's going to be a couple of greater kudu. These are the female greater kudu. You can tell by because they don't have any horns. The males have horns, and they weigh about 750 pounds. At the top of the hill on our left, you're going to see a copper-colored animal. That's a bongo. And bongos are also known as the ghosts of the forest because they blend in very well with their surroundings. Now we have made it out of the forest and over towards the Safi River. The Safi River is home to many different animals. Unfortunately, folks, I'm not going to be able to stop in this first portion of the river, but I will be able to stop in the second portion of the river in just a few moments. Ooh, there's a hippo out of the water on our right, grazing there. Hippos can eat about 150 pounds of food a day. Stay seated for me, please. Thank you. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to stop up ahead of us. Now, we usually get to see a whole group of hippos up ahead of us, so we'll go ahead and pause up there to get a really good picture. But like I was saying, they can eat about 150 pounds of food a day and weigh up to about 5,500 pounds fully grown, like that one there. A lot of ripples down here in the water on our left, so keep your eyes peeled. On the island are the pink-backed pelicans. They get their name because during mating season, their backs do turn pink. And a group of pelicans is called a pod. Now, when the hippos do hold their breath underwater for 8 minutes at a time, they can actually be fully asleep underwater and still come up and down for air every 8 minutes. So they usually spend the bulk of the day underneath the water, and this water is a little bit darker. So we'll see if we can get a glimpse of a hippo down here, maybe up around the curve. A couple of them down there. It's very hard to spot them though. Now, we do have to cross over a pretty old bridge up ahead of us. This bridge is going to be the only way we can make it over towards the savannah. There are going to be Nile crocodiles underneath this bridge. Now this bridge can hold away the truck, but we do have to keep moving, so we're just going to go very slowly. Now crocodiles like these can, you can see it all the way in the back. You have to sit all the way down. Thank you. When a Nile crocodile is fully grown, it can grow up to about 18 to 20 feet. They have about 2,000 per square inch of bone crushing power. Once again, folks, the children and adults all have to stay seated in order for me to stop out here, folks. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to stop the rest of our party. Now we're going to make our way over towards the savannah. The savannah is a completely different ecosystem with a completely different group of animals. What we've seen so far today out on safari. And speaking about different, up ahead of us on our right, we are going to see a very unique tree. It's called the baobab tree, or upside down tree. Going leafless 9 months out of the year, they store water in their trunks to survive long droughts. And we'll see a few of those baobab trees throughout the savannah. Now this is the best view on the entire reserve. The Serengeti grassland stretches for miles across East Africa and is a super highway for millions of migrating animals each and every year. Home to some of your favorite animals like giraffe, elephant, lion, and zebra. This is the wild Africa we are so desperately trying to protect. This whole landscape out here is actually made by the animals that live here, and you can think of it as a big construction crew. You have elephants acting like bulldozers, knocking down trees, that way the grass can grow. The giraffes are like pruning shears, trimming out the bottoms of the trees, that way the sunlight may shine down on the grass. And then the zebra and wildebeest mow down the grass. And then the nibblers, like the springbok, or warthogs, will trim up the edges. In a very well-balanced ecosystem, everybody does have something to eat, and it's all a part of the great circle of life. Now, can anybody tell me what lives inside these large orange pillars up ahead of us? Termites. Yeah, these are the termite mounds. Close. The termites actually use their saliva to build them up really tall with mud and dirt and even animal droppings. The outside will actually bake in the sun, and that's how they become as hard as rock. And then the only thing that can really knock them down is some of the larger animals, like that giraffe over there on our left. Now, the giraffe over on our left-hand side here is a Maasai giraffe. You can tell by the dark, messy pattern on their hair. They actually have the same amount of vertebrae in the neck as a human. They have 7, and it's a lot larger than ours, and their hearts weigh 25 pounds. That's not going to be the only opportunity we're going to get to see a giraffe. We're hopefully going to see a whole group of giraffes, including baby giraffes out here, up around that curve where the truck is heading up ahead of us. We've got some more animals out there as well, though, so we're going to start heading that way to get a really good picture of them. Now we got a whole bunch of animals out here, including the baby giraffes as well, that we're going to see in just a few moments. But we'll start with these over here on our right. The gray animals are white-bearded wildebeest. They are part of one of the largest migrating herds in East Africa, also known as GNU, GNU, which is kind of like the sound that they make. The large cattle there, the Ankoli cattle, also known as Watusi cattle, named after the Watusi tribe in Africa. They have horns that grow to about 6 feet in length. And then we also have those giraffes out there, which a group of giraffes like this one is called a tower of giraffe. You don't see that baby giraffe there? The baby giraffe was born a few weeks ago. There's actually 3 baby giraffes spotted out here on the reserve, so keep your eyes peeled for the other 2. There's the other 2 baby giraffes, top of the hill, hiding behind the bushes back there. We're actually going to take a shortcut that we know of that'll lead us through the Red Clay Pits and onwards towards elephant country. On the way there, though, we actually get to pass by Monkey Point. It's this large rock formation up here on our left-hand side. Monkey Point gets its name from the troop of mandrill monkeys that likes to hang around this area. Got some mandrills over on our left. The dominant male weighs about 100 pounds and has the most colorful face, while the females and younger bachelors weigh about 30 pounds and have a darker face. I don't quite see the dominant male out here. You can see some of the younger ones out here, though, some of the females. But if you look to your right, there is going to be a bull elephant. Male elephants like this one will wander off on their own when they're about 15 years old, being poached out for those ivory tusks. And he's kind of flapping his ears like that. It's actually decreasing his body temperature about 15 degrees. Folks, that's not going to be the only opportunity we're going to get to see of an elephant, though. The road that I would usually take towards elephant country is closed off. It got washed away by the last monsoon a few weeks ago, so the wardens actually have been allowing us to take an old service bridge back here, which will lead us down into the Red Clay Pits and onwards towards elephant country. So we'll just go very slowly, or poly across that bridge. I know the bridge really doesn't sound too good, but it's going to hold the weight of the truck, and we will make it across this bridge safely. Head down to it. Oh, it's like this. Oh, we're really right. Lean right. All right, that was close. The front tires are cleared, and the back tires are cleared. Let's get out of here. That's enough for getting bridges for one trip. I got to find a better way to tell what the bridge. Alright folks, if you look at the truck down here, you can see all these tusk marks, footprints on the ground. The elephants will eat the red clay for the minerals and nutrients they need to survive. Now we got some elephants out here on our left-hand side. Unfortunately, I can't stop in this first portion of elephant country, but as we head deeper into the area, I will be able to pause the truck for a few seconds. One thing we're learning out here is by studying the vocal patterns of the elephants, we're learning that they actually run from bees. So what farmers are doing out in Africa are putting beehives on the fences around their crops to protect the crops, protect the elephants, and profit off of the honey that the bees make. We'll get a really good view of some elephants down by their watering hole. We'll go ahead and pause the truck down there. And we're going to get a really good view of the giraffes up ahead of us as well. Baby giraffes by the baobab tree. Make sure everybody does stay fully seated for the wheels. Again, very important. Another baby giraffe up at the top of the hillside there. One of the adults here grazing as well. And we're also going to get a really good view of the elephants down here. Now I will pause the truck, folks, for a few seconds so we all can get a good picture, just as long as I see everybody's staying fully seated. Really close view of a giraffe up ahead of us as well. We also got some stable antelope there on the side of the hill. Those are the emblem of the reserve. They have horns that can grow about 5 feet in length. Alright folks, looks like we're actually heading on in towards our next destination. We're going to see if we can find some white rhinoceros in this area. Now the white rhinos, much like the black rhino, are very in danger of being poached on for their horns, which are very valuable on the black market. Poachers are ruthless, using sophisticated means and are very well financed for their poaching. We're still trying to think of better ways of protecting these magnificent creatures out in Africa. Looks like we are in luck. We're going to get to see a few white rhinos over on our left. Let's go where that truck is up ahead of us and get a better angle on them, and maybe, if we're lucky, get a glimpse of a baby white rhino as well. There was one spotted out here throughout the past couple of days, but I don't know where that baby is. We'll see if we can find her. She may be still hiding behind a thick mother, but we'll see if we can find her. These weigh about 5,000 pounds compared to the 3,000 pound black rhino. There she is. You can just see her back there behind her mother. Again, I'll go and pause here for a few seconds. Just stay seated, everyone. Come out here when they're right here.
Do they walk up to the truck?
Yeah, they come through. They get curious. They can't see. They can only see about 10 feet from here. They get up here and they're like, what do you want from me? I'm just sitting here. Keep an eye out on top of the ridge here back behind the bushes. There is a good chance you're going to see some cheetahs. There's actually one, if you look all the way to the left by the tree, all the way back out to the left. There's a cheetah back there. You might get some more cheetahs up here though. It looks like we got some animals grazing really close to them. We got the zebras here, which are unique. No two zebras have the same set of stripes. They're actually black with white stripes because their noses are black. And the white animals up here are going to be the addax, and the addax are desert dwellers, which means they go long periods of time without drinking any water. They get all the moisture they eat within the food that they eat.
A cheetah is not a danger to the zebras?
She can get to them, or they can get to them.
They'll try. They'll take.
They can, there's no way.
Yeah, he'd like to.
Very cool to see the animals, especially that cheetah walking around back there. But we're going to head up ahead of us and see if we can find some lion. Now the large rock formation we're about to circle around, we like to call the copies, and the copies are the best place for us to spot lions. Lions are typically inactive for 18 hours out of the day, so it's very rare to get to see them, but it looks like it is going to be our lucky day. There's going to be a really good view of a lion up on around this curve here.
Passed out lion.
We'll get a really good angle on the lion right up around here, along with the 2 female lions with him as well. Does anybody know what the Swahili word for lion is? Simba, that is correct. And the male lion will actually stay back with the pride to protect the pride, while the female lions, lioness, will go out primarily and do most of the hunting. Very cool to see that pride up there. Although they are relaxing, it looks like, but it's better for them to be relaxing there than in their den like they usually are, so at least we got a really good view of that lion and lionesses. Alright, well, we're slowly starting to head back towards the village, but we'll see if we can find some more animals along the way. Now we got a warthog up here on our left. Unfortunately, I can't stop right here, so I'm going to go by very slowly. The warthogs will use their razor-sharp tusks to get all these burrows. They'll actually back up into the burrows, that way their tusks are facing outward, and they use them as protection. And they can also run about 35 miles per hour, just as fast as a rhino. Now folks, before we start heading back towards the village of Harambe, we're going to pass through one last area of the reserve. We're always looking for new ways of expanding the reserve. That way we can protect more endangered species out in Africa. So go ahead and see what we can find in this area before we head back towards the village of Harambe. Mainly to clean the tires. It gets pretty gross out here when it's going. Oh, looks like we do have some new animals in this area. I haven't seen this species of animal in here for the past, actually, couple of years. These are the scimitar horned oryx. They get their name from the shape of their horns, like a scimitar sword. They are critically endangered. They're also desert dwellers, which means they are being poached out for those horns and sold on the black market as trophies. But by having them on the reserves like this one, we're able to increase our population in numbers and hopefully one day help them get off that critically endangered list. Very cool to see them back out here on the reserve, actually. Now we are going to start heading back towards the village of Harambe. Harambe in Swahili does mean to come together or work together. And we are all working together to make this place a better place to live. Not just for us, but for all these animals. By educating yourself and others about different conservation efforts around the world, even by making a small donation to your local conservation fund or the Disney Conservation Fund while you're here in the park, can go a long way in protecting all these magnificent creatures. But no matter how great or how small, every animal on this planet is worth protecting. And it is up to us to make that happen. Now we are coming to the very edge of the reserve, so I will be dropping you off at the nearest warden's post. From there, it's a very short walk back towards the village of Harambe. Now, you still got time to experience some other amazing attractions we have here in Africa. I would highly recommend heading down the Pangani Trail, where you can see the meerkats, grebe zebra, and silverback gorilla. There is a gorilla sanctuary down that Pangani Trail as well. Now here in Harambe, we don't like to say goodbye. It is way too sad and far too final. But we do like to say, though, is Kwaherini. It's a Swahili phrase which means to go well. So Kwaherini, everyone. And Asante Sana, which means thank you for a great safari. Jumbo Warden.
Oh! Watch chain sounds on the right hand side.